In 2025, a working multiplayer game that thousands of players still loved on their PS4 and Xbox One consoles was deliberately pulled from stores and then completely killed off, not by some publisher bankruptcy or franchise shutdown, but by the very same studio that built it, so they could push everyone toward a shiny new next gen version. On May 29th, the old Rust console edition was scheduled to vanish from digital stores. On June 26th, the native PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S rebuild launched, and on October 30th, the old gen servers went dark forever. This is the full story of how Double Eleven ended their own last gen Rust product after 4 years of live service, and why it still feels raw for some players today. It all started back on May 21st, 2021, when Double Eleven launched Rust Console Edition on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. This was a console optimized port of Face Punch's massive PC survival hit, complete with its own island wipes, community servers, and that brutal player driven chaos that only works when the servers stay alive. People on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles could play it through backward compatibility, so for years it felt like a real owned live service experience, not some dying legacy title. Facepunch stayed in charge of the PC version while Double Eleven handled console support, and by the end of 2021, the whole Rust franchise had sold over 12 million copies across every platform, giving the console edition a strong foundation to build on. But as the years went by, the limits of last gen hardware became obvious to everyone. Players on current gen hardware wanted more, while those stuck on PS4 and Xbox One kept grinding the version they already owned. Then, in April 2025, the studio dropped Devblog 38 and everything changed. Senior community manager Pedro Silva announced they were building a native new gen version for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. The upgrade promise was crystal clear. When that native version launches, current players get a free upgrade that matches exactly what they already own. So base stays base, deluxe stays deluxe, ultimate stays ultimate. No extra cost, no extra steps. New buyers would pay full price, but existing owners were told their copy carries over. A few weeks later, in early May, the studio went public with the hard timeline. New Gen was coming this summer, and they would be concluding support for the Old Gen edition in late October, aligning with the end of that wipe, including a special Wipe of Wipes send off. Pedro Silva followed up on social media, making it brutally direct. Starting May 29th, 2025, the Old Gen version would no longer be available in platform stores. You could keep playing until the final wipe in October, but after sunset, the Old Gen version will not be playable. Press outlets like Push Square and True Achievements locked in the dates store delist on May 29th, full server shutdown on October 30th, and warned that Xbox One achievements would become unobtainable once the servers died. Importantly, delisting from stores was never the same as making the game unplayable right away. May 29th cut off new purchases and downloads, but multiplayer kept running through the summer countdown. May 29th arrived, and Devblog 39 dropped the exact launch calendar. Rust Console Edition New Gen drops on June 26, 2025. Deluxe and Ultimate owners get early access starting June 19. Old Gen players do not need to buy again. Your copy carries over. Disc owners could download the new version from stores, and there were optional discounted upgrades if you wanted the fancier editions. On Xbox Wire, Double Eleven confirmed the automatic free 1-to-1 upgrade for anyone who owned it on Xbox One. Base players jumped in on June 26, and the studio hyped New Gen as a full rebuild with richer textures, higher frame rates, and exciting new systems like scrap helicopters, minis, hot air balloons, and SAM sites. PlayStation had a small platform-specific wrinkle where the free upgrade for PS4 owners only unlocked on the full June 26 release date, but extras were supposed to restore automatically on login. All summer long, the two versions ran side by side. New Gen was the future, while Old Gen servers kept ticking down. Store visibility stayed messy into August, with some players still able to reach old listings through direct links, especially on Xbox. Then, on September 25th, Devblog 43 framed the final wipe as a proper send-off. This upcoming wipe will mark the final wipe for the old gen version on PS4 and Xbox One. After this, those versions will no longer be supported and their servers will go offline. They turned it into a mini live event with surprise curveballs just for old gen players, while new gen wipes continued normally. October 30th, 2025 hit, and the old gen servers went offline exactly as promised. Multiplayer ended. Last gen achievements became permanently unobtainable. Gportal's hosting wiki confirmed the transition was complete and the old version was no longer supported. Double Eleven's own FAQ now listed Rust Console Edition only for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, with no physical copies available for the new version. Just weeks later, in late November, they dropped a big winter update on PS5 and PS5 Pro featuring an Arctic based snowmobiles, polar bears, and a Christmas event, proving the live service was thriving on current gen hardware alone. Two very real positions exist here, and both deserve respect. For players locked into PS4 or Xbox One hardware, it feels like losing a multiplayer game they paid for when the studio flipped the switch. For those who upgraded or bought new, the native rebuild delivered the experience last gen simply couldn't sustain with better visuals, smoother performance, and those fresh gameplay systems. Double Eleven did not kill the Rust franchise. They executed a planned generational handoff on a very public calendar with a free upgrade path and a dramatic final wipe that nobody could miss. Same studio, free successor, 3 clear dates, and a multiplayer product that stayed playable right until the day it wasn't. That is exactly how console Rust killed its own last gen version.